Hello? You're frozen.
What's up? What's up, SK family? Hope everyone is having an amazing day on purpose. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and hit hashtag replay in the comments.
Go ahead and hit hashtag replay in the comments. You'll know it's a replay because the little red guy in the corner that says live won't be there anymore. If you don't know, my name is Stephanie. Yeah, welcome back, Katia. Together we make up Hey SK. We are the superheroes of self-care, also known as life coaches. And we help people, wounded healers, activate their inner superhero so they can live an authentic, bold, and free life. If you're hopping on live, hit the comments with hashtag HeySK just so we can say hello and connect with you. If you're new, which means you're new to our YouTube channel or new to either of our pages, please hit the comments with hashtag new. We're not going to spam you. We're not going to do anything weird. We just want to officially welcome you to the Hey SK family. But I'm going to pass it off to Katia now that she's back and she's going to tell us why we're here.
So today we're talking about why healing is so important when it comes to self-care. Um, and this is what really, in my opinion, sets Stephanie and I apart from people who do this niche. Um, is because we focus on healing. I know most people, they look at self-care and they, if you listening live or replay, tell me when you heard people being introduced in this niche of self-care, what are some of the tips that they give? For me, I was saying they always talk about, hey, you need to make time for you. You need to take set aside time for you, whether it's reading or it's a bubble bath or it's a massage, the surface level stuff. But a lot of times, people leave those establishments and the issues they had when they went in there, they still come out with them. Why? Because they did not start with healing. To me, true self care starts with healing. That means digging deep and dealing with the issues that cause you to be sad, cause you to be frustrated. You know, some people it's childhood trauma. Not everybody has childhood trauma. Not everybody has childhood trauma. Some people just, you know, experience some things in adulthood. They had like, hey, I had a great childhood. Everything was great until I started paying bills and I became an adult. So when we speak of childhood trauma, it's not literally saying that everybody has that issue, but people have experienced some type of rough situation or trauma. But you have to get to know you. And I know a lot of us, who are we? You ask people, who are you? Not your name. We, you know, I can say, oh, I'm Katia. Well, she's Stephanie. We know our names, but who are you to the core? Like, if somebody had to write out your bio and relive your life, who are you? Can you really say who you are?
That's really close.
Huh?
Once in a while, it's really close.
Yeah, can you say who you are? So, what is healing? Healing is, you know how we say write out our goals? Write out what hurts you. Write out what hurts you. You have a what hurts me goal. Who hurt me goal? Like list, not goal. Who hurt me list? What hurts me list? Whatever it is. Because it's not always a person. It could be a situation. And go through those things and see this was going good and it hit this point and it didn't. It went south. And once it went south, it caused me to do or feel XYZ. We need to get to that root. Another thing is releasing trauma and barriers that's preventing you from emerging into the authentic you. A lot of us, we get, like, say people go in a relationship and they got trust issues. This person has never given you a reason not to trust them, but all of a sudden, I need to check your phone. Where you going? Oh, you must be going to some B house. Oh, you must be going to some dude house. Oh, you must. And they're like, what? And all you just trauma dumping on them because they haven't done anything. You got to deal with that. Like, it's tough, especially when you're dealing with trust, to give somebody and be vulnerable again with trust. It's tough. I get it. But it has to be done. So I'm going to pass it off to Steph. She's going to just talk about why healing is important.
Yes. I know for me personally, for me to understand the why is so important as like what for me. Like it really just helps solidify and make the connection and it just works for my brain. So I try to do that for those who also, well, we like to do that for those who also think like that. So healing is so important. And one of the reasons why is because it's the foundation to a healthy connection. And we mean by healthy connection, that's your interactions with other people, your significant other, your children, your boss, your annoying ass coworkers, your overbearing parents, your children who don't know how to say, stuff like that. Just helps you have more healthy connections. And the key word in that is healthy. We want you to have healthy interactions with those around you. You want positivity, not toxic positivity. You just want positive, non-toxic, healthy relationships. Things that are going to bring you joy, things that are going to encourage you, fuel your passion, all the good things, hold you accountable, etc. Not the healthy stuff that's going to make you feel bad, overwhelmed, unloved. Like we're cutting those. We're dead in those. So that's what we're talking about that. And so part of that is being able to set healthy boundaries. But like Katia said, you have to get to know you first to know what those boundaries are. That's why it's so important for your healing process is to start by getting to know you. Your likes, your dislikes, things that make you happy, things that make you uncomfortable, things that you just that aren't pleasing to you. And that's why it's so important to unleash your trauma so you're not setting boundaries from a place of trauma. There are some people who have set boundaries, but it's not a healthy boundary because it's trauma response. It's fear. It's fear-based. It's not, it's going to keep me safe. It's not going to keep me comfortable. It's an overcompensation for things that may or may not have happened to you as you were growing up or when you developed maladaptive behaviors. That's why it all ties in together. So that's important. Get to know you so that way you can go ahead and tackle that and set healthy boundaries. And you'll be able to communicate them. That made me uncomfortable because what you said I didn't appreciate because I don't like it when you use that tone of voice because, and just healthy, calmly. Now, you did your part. You can't control the other person's response, but as long as you come healthy and correct, then you already know what to do. You'll also be able to cut people off who consistently disrespect known, clear boundaries. And the key word that is known and clear. You cannot ghost somebody for a boundary you have not set clearly and have let them know clearly that they have violated that boundary. Because everybody's boundaries are different. There are things that you can joke with me and I'll laugh. You said the same to Katia, she's going to be ready to fight, and vice versa. It's just how it is. And it's not a trauma, it's just some of its personality. So it's important that you're able to communicate those boundaries based off of, your personality. Again, not a trauma response. So that is why we talk about that. And also, it helps you practice self-love. And I'm something else, but self-love. And loving on you. You first, you have to get to know yourself. You have to know what you like. You have to get to know you to love you. Like, can you really love someone you don't know? It's not saying that you have to love yourself first in order to be loved. That's not, you just need to know yourself so you can love yourself. Like, you don't generally love strangers. Generally, there's something there. There's an exchange of energy, exchange of information. You got to know that person. Like, oh wow, I love that person. Very rarely we blindly love people outside of our parents, siblings, children. Um, there's actually some sort of rapport. The same is true for you. You have to get to know you again, so you can communicate your boundaries, know what they are, and stuff like that. But you can also love yourself in the way that you desire to be loved. I definitely encourage you to read the five love languages and take, at very minimum, take that test. It lets you know your love language so you know how to practice effective self care based off of what's going to make you feel good and what's going to fuel you. There are things that I do for self care that Katia has no interest in, and vice versa. Hey, girl, how are you? There are things that Katia does. I'm like, nah, I'm good, and vice versa, and that's okay. And I think when people hear self care, they think bubble baths, getting your manicure, your pedicure, relaxing. And for some people, that is a part of self care. For some people, like the girl, and she said the tub is eye level at the toilet. She can't unsee it. So taking a bath is not relaxing to her. That's not enjoyable. So that wouldn't be something that she would incorporate in self care. That's why it's important to get to know you and your dislikes, and your likes and things. Part of when you date yourself and get to know yourself is to try things. Try things that are interesting to you or things that may be of interest to you. You'll never know unless you try them. You're like, oh, I might like it. You might not, but you'll never know if you don't try. So that's why it's so important, to get that healing part of it so you can do those things, and practice effective, because self-care is not effective if it's not done correctly. If you're just doing it like, well, my friend gets a pedicure and she loves it, or my friend takes a bath every week and she loves it, and you don't enjoy that, it's not practicing effective. That's not very effective because you're not doing something you enjoy. It's not, there's no purpose behind it. Self-care, absolutely every step of the way has a purpose, whether it be to relax you, help you unwind, momentarily take a break from whatever's stressing you so you can think clearly. There's absolutely a purpose for self care. You're just not doing it to, you shouldn't be doing it just to be doing it because it's a trend and it's a fad, or whatever you think is trending. It truly is what you want to do and what you enjoy doing. Um, but I'm going to pass it off to Katia, and she's going to tell us a little bit about some tips to get you going.
Before we do the tips, we're gonna take a little pause and show our little clip up in here showing what we got going on, and we will be back in 38 seconds. And we're back. So we were just showing you some of the things that we have going on, our awesome merch, game night in the lounge, and paint and sips things that we offer. Um, we will also be adding, in addition to us, the superhero Saturday. So we got to add that in there as well. Um, and on Superhero Saturday, we will. Everybody knows Steve Harvey with the strawberry letter. We're doing the superhero letter, and we will be getting back with everybody, updating you on that. So that's coming soon. Exciting about that. But back to these tips. But one thing I want to, before I get into the tips, I want to say, like, you have to realize that a lot of us wasn't taught to heal. We were taught to suppress. And suppression leads to depression. And that's why we have a lot of depressed people. That's why we have a lot of people with anxiety. We wasn't taught to deal. It's like, life happens, suck it up. We had those type of attitudes. But what I want you to understand is think of the onion. In the middle of the onion is who you are to the core. That's the real you. And you get married, you add on a layer of wife. You have kids, you add on a layer of mom or dad. You a daughter, so that becomes before any of that. You a sister if you got siblings. So all these layers and responsibilities of you are crowding you. You're in there, and all the roles you play are covering you up. So you're gonna have to pull back all of those layers to get to you. And then guess what? Once you get to you and you grow and learn you, then you have to turn around and all those layers, you have to set boundaries with. Because a person, once you truly change, they don't know that person. You're gonna have to reintroduce you to the people who were used to you coming at their every beck and call. The people that were used to you, look, this is my time, and saying and sticking to it. Because a lot of guys know how to set boundaries. They don't know how to keep them. Some people know how to set them. They're like, yep, this is my time. This is what I'm gonna do for me. And I don't care. And as soon as somebody comes along, can you take me to the store? They're like, you don't want to say no, so then you give up your stuff. No. Once you start really healing, you're going to set them boundaries. Because the peace you're going to feel on the other side of heal, trust me, I know. You're going to want to set them boundaries. So just remember, you're going to have to remove all those layers, get to you, heal, choose your course of action of healing, and then you're going to have to come back and deal with all those people because you're going to be a new person. So, tips to begin healing. If you're watching live or the replay, get a pen and paper. Always come, when we do lives, always come with a pen and piece of paper, regardless. Or your notes on your phone, the technology and time. Because you might want to take some tips. So, drop some hearts. Drop some clocks if you with us so far. Drop a clock if you with us so far. So, the first tip is evaluate your circle and environment. How dare you? That means I have to evaluate my mother, my father. What? I have to evaluate my kids, my spouse, my work life, people I've known for years. What do you mean, Katia? What do you mean, Stephanie? Why do I have to do that? For some of y'all, your circle and your environment is what's holding you back from really working on you. You ever try to go to therapy and then you share it with somebody you think you can trust? Girl, you don't need that. I tried therapy 2 years ago. It didn't work. They just want your money. I went to therapy. It worked. But I worked. You have to put in the work. You're going to hurt. You're going to relive. It's going to suck. But guess what? On the other side of peace is that my wife is my best friend. When I begin to heal and change, and I started setting boundaries, people, they remove themselves. Sometimes you ain't gonna have to remove people. They're gonna think you acting funny, you shady, because now you set boundaries. That person is like, can I borrow $200? You used to give it willingly. You're like, what you need that for? What you need that $200 for? They're like, what? You always gave it to me now. Now you want to ask questions. Yeah. I've been working on me, and I like, why you need it? Oh, can I borrow your car? No, you can't. Why? You ain't on my insurance. What? You always got. So you want to be hit with those. So evaluate your circle. Like, weigh out your circle. Are you growing from the circle, or are you still in the same spot? Because I'm like, if I'm hanging around people and I'm not elevating, why are they there? They're taking up space. So did you want to hit number 2?
Yes. The next one, you want to find your best course of action to begin your healing journey. So whether it be a life coach, a therapist, or any tools needed, they're not a one size fit all. Everything is individualized. That's part of what makes us so unique as coaches because it's for you. We do things based off of what's going to be the best interest of the client. We have general guideline that we follow, but we go with whatever works best for the person that we are coaching at that time. So I just want to keep that in mind. But the same thing is going to be for you. You have to figure out Again, once you get to know you, your learning style, what type of what motivates you. Would a nice therapeutic session motivate you? Like, how deeply rooted is your trauma or issues that are preventing you from living your authentic life? Like, were you severely abused as a kid? And you might need therapy. If you haven't gone through that process yet, or maybe you went through therapy already, but you just need some guidance or support, then you might want to seek services from somebody like us. It really just depends on where you are in your process, your journey, where you want to go, and what style works best for you. Because again, coaches, therapists are not a one size fit all. You may not need a therapist. You might benefit from a life coach, a mindset coach, something that's going to help you. But we're not a one size fit all. Our techniques and our style might be a little too kiddish for you. We may not be the best fit for you, and that's okay. That's why it's so important when you go to these discovery calls to be open and as honest as you can. Because not only are they there to give you the information so you can ask questions and learn, but also to see if the person, is a good fit for your needs. I can't speak for other coaches. I can only speak for HSK. We only want people who we're mutually a good fit for. We're a good fit for your needs, and vice versa. Like, I don't want like anybody taking money just to take money. That's why networking is huge. But anywho, so definitely find your best course of action and just decide what's going to work best for you. It doesn't have to be heavy, therapy. It could just be a support group. It could be a membership where you're able to check in and stay on task. But again, that's for you to decide what you're ready for and what you need. You also have to be ready. You might need a little more. You have to be ready. You have to be ready to take steps because parts of your healing journey are not very comfortable. Actually, a lot of the healing journey is very uncomfortable because you have to unlearn things, undo things. However old you are, you have to retraining your brain and your mind to think and do certain things that it's automatically been conditioned to do. And that's the easiest way to describe what is happening. So some parts of it's tough. Some parts of it's fun, especially towards the end as you get to your goal or really get to know you. But parts of it are kind of icky. And you have to be ready to deal with the icky parts and understand and focus on the goals. Like, yeah, right now this kind of hurts a little bit, but it's going to be okay. So that's why I said find your best course of action based off of your needs and where you are and where you want to go and what you're able to handle. You want to knock out this last one? If you want me to.
Yeah. Before you can knock it out, but before you go on, when I say the best course of action, because when I was going through my therapy, I had to find somebody that works with the LGBT community because not all therapists work with LGBT, and it was hard finding someone, which is cool. But another thing that I will say is that when she said that you're going, a part of your healing journey hurt, a lot of it you're gonna feel like betraying your mother and father because we were taught everything that grandma, daddy, mama say is golden. So when I start undoing and learning and understanding some of the stuff that I grew up was taught that was really holding me back, and when I let it go, it released pressure off my shoulders. You're gonna feel like you're betraying your parents. You're gonna feel like you're betraying your grandparents if you were raised by your grandparents, or if you was raised by your parents but you was close to your grandparents. It's gonna happen, but it's necessary to let a lot of that stuff go. So that's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And the last tip that I'm going to share today is going to be get to know yourself by building yourself. Like, do what you want to do. Take an overnight trip to someplace that you want to go that's safe for you to do so, considering your sexuality, your gender, etc. Just keep safety first, no matter what. And that could be if you like to travel, go somewhere, drive a weekend, and do whatever you want to do. Wake up when you want to, eat what you want to, do whatever sightseeing you want to do, whatever. It doesn't matter. That could be something as simple as just getting up and taking yourself to a breakfast, lunch, dinner date, doing whatever it is that you enjoy doing. You can museum, you want to go check out, and then your friends want to go. First of all, find some friends, or at least at the very minimum, willing to compromise and still go and do things that you want to do. But also, well, what you enjoy, just go and have fun. Just go, check it out. Whatever is within your budget. And it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be literally like maybe a new trail or a park opening. And you're like, I want to go see that new section of the trail. I haven't been over there. And if nature, you enjoy that type of thing, do it. Again, something you might enjoy doing. Maybe you don't know because you haven't experienced it, but it looks like fun. Do it. Just do it. Um, and enjoy the process. That's what I thought.
Yeah, dating yourself is important because a lot of people go from relationship to relationship and they expect so much from someone else. Like you want people to pour their all into you, and you haven't even put in the work to pour into yourself. Like I don't want to heal. I just want you to do that. If somebody do da 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 for me, I'm gonna be happy. But you're not doing those things for yourself. Like take yourself on a date. And somebody asks you what you like, you be like, I don't know. It don't matter. Like learn something new. When you date yourself, you like, wow. Because you are your first love template after your parents. When it comes to the adult world and people looking to date you and watching you, you're like, oh, she took herself out. That's how people gonna come correct with you. People gonna come correct with you how you treat yourself. Oh, she don't play around. She always dress nice, look nice, wherever that is for whoever. Because dressing nice and looking nice is relative to whoever the person is. And they gonna be like, oh, she take herself on a date. She always traveling and she ain't waiting on nobody. People look at that type of stuff and they know they gotta come correct. Or they ain't gonna even stand a chance. They ain't even gonna stand a chance. So I just wanna reiterate real quick before we close up. What is healing? And that healing is why is healing important to self-care before because you can't start working on yourself if you don't know yourself and you haven't really dealt with those things that cause you to not love yourself. Why is healing important? Because if you that is like your foundation to working and connecting with other people. If you don't heal, you're gonna have trust issues. You're gonna have issues in your marriage. You're gonna have issues in your relationship. You're gonna have issues with your kids because you ain't gonna know how to talk to people. You're gonna just be irritable and irritated and frustrated all your life because you ain't dealt with nothing. Everything get on your nerves. And if you just dealt with certain things, some of the stuff wouldn't even it would you wouldn't be irritated a lot. And then evaluate your tips. Back to it. Evaluate your circle. Find your best course of action. You in your journey, you might need therapy. In your journey, you might need a life coach. You need to know where you are. That's why healing is important. So you can know where you are in your journey. Then um date yourself. So that's all I have. Anything else, my love?
Just thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you and your support. If you are watching from YouTube, definitely go ahead and like, subscribe, and tap that notification so you don't miss anything. If you're watching from Facebook, please go ahead and like and subscribe to both of our YouTube channels. Um, I'm excited, and
Yep. And if you want to sow a seed into our vision and our mission and our journey for our brand, our cash app is KSK18. People have asked for it, so we're putting it in there. We're putting it out there. If you feel compelled to sow into our journey, that's what it is. So, guys, remember, you are the designer of your destiny. You control your future. Do something daily to get you closer to your goals. This your girl KG. I'm the K from SK. That's my lovely wife Stephanie. She's the S from SK. Y'all have an amazing day on purpose. We are SK. We are life coaches. We help wounded healers activate their inner superhero known as their inner child so they can live a bold, fun, and free life. Thank you again for tuning in to Power Up, Activate Your Inner Superhero Show. And until next time, thank you.